Are listening to Mike Guido and Josh Tariff. Buckle up! Buckle up!
Alrighty, here we are on a Thursday evening for Mike and Josh. Hello, everybody, and welcome into Mike and Josh exclusively on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That is Josh Tariff. It is great to have you on this bountiful Thursday evening. It is pouring rain, torrential downpouring, thunder, lightning on Long Island today. It was actually gorgeous. Well, I shouldn't say it was gorgeous. It was hot as hell and muggy, but there was not a cloud in the sky earlier today, and then all of a sudden storm rolls in and starts releasing all that humidity, which I'm sure my California resident knows all about, right, Josh?
I feel your pain tremendously. Right now, it is only 88 degrees and sunny.
Wow. Only 88.
I've been trying to pull through. It's been an up and down ride to say. There have been good moments and bad. But I'm gonna pull through, and I'm gonna do it for us.
Good. Well, I think that means a lot to me.
Yeah,
that you're gonna do it for us. How often does it actually rain in California? Like, does it actually rain?
It does. So our winters involve the most rain. Now, I would honestly say, as far as like real days of rain, I don't mean like, they're just having to be like a little sprinkle for a few minutes here or there.
Mm-hmm.
As far as real days of rain per year, it probably competes with the amount of fingers and toes I have.
And how many is that? Just so the audience can...
26. You might have a follow-up question to this, which I will not answer on the air.
26 fingers and toes. All righty. My father was killed by a six-fingered man. Bonus points if you know that reference.
A six-fingered man?
My father was killed by a six-fingered man.
I feel like that's some type of
that reference.
I feel like that's from a parody of something with the fugitive of the one-armed man.
No.
Okay.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Oh, so it was well before it. Yes, okay.
You killed my father.
Prepare to die. Anybody want a peanut?
The Princess Bride. You didn't remember that little bit?
I didn't remember that one line from the Prince. I didn't remember that one line from a movie I saw over 30 years ago. No, I did not.
You saw that movie over 30 years ago? So
yeah.
You saw that movie before I was born and haven't seen it since?
Yes, because I learned of, became a fan of, and then got sad about Andre the Giant passing away all before you were born.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, now that you made me feel old, I think we'll wrap this up because I think
to add fuel to the fire, and here we go. Anyway,
why is that still there?
It's never leaving. If you take it down, I will immediately add it back in. You have no control of that situation. For the listeners that have only tuned in through the audio piece here, I put up the picture of his bar mitzvah shirt, and it will never leave. It will be in existence forever.
And by the way, Shaq and Jordan still have not given me a bar mitzvah present.
I know. You're waiting on it.
I'm waiting on, maybe even like an icy hot care package, just like, something.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, speaking of which, we're almost 5 minutes into the program, and we have yet to talk about what we will be talking about today.
For pretty much the whole hour, or whole show.
Yeah, let's just get this out of the way now. I mean, the NBA Finals is going to take up a good portion of what today is going to be all about. So we have plenty of stuff to hit on today. A little bit later in the show today, Josh, and I'm thinking this is more of an hour two topic here, but maybe some early hitters for fantasy football this season.
Oh, I can't wait.
Maybe a little bit of that. I know you're a big fantasy football guy.
Big fantasy football guy. I've already started to look a little bit, started to tinker a little bit on late draft picks.
Yep, it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to hear what you have. And again, fantasy football drafts are still a couple of months away, but let's figure out who we should be keeping our eyes on. That's coming up in hour number 2 today. Patrick Mahomes got an extension to his existing deal. He is, again, further getting paid an exorbitant amount of money. We'll talk about what that means. That'll come up a little bit later today. And Josh, I think there are just so many angles we can hit the NBA Finals on today.
Mm-hmm.
We'll obviously hit it from a Knicks perspective, from a Spurs perspective. There's so much going on. Let's talk
maybe from a Taylor Swift perspective. Who knows?
Maybe I saw a tweet today, by the way, that said, like, it was a picture, a video of Taylor Swift in the Stevie Nicks shirt that she was wearing, which is like, is that whoever, I don't know who makes that shirt or if it was custom made for her or anything like that. If that is not, I'd be stunned if that was not the highest selling shirt like of all time.
I think it was a custom made because like her and her other friends who I know are also celebrities, but I'm not into pop culture enough to know who they were. Mm-hmm. They all had different nicknames that all had Nick with the K in it. And I saw a tweet that said like, watch this actually be like Taylor Swift's bachelorette party.
Listen, that that's not what I saw, but that's better, I think. Honestly.
Right.
So, I saw a tweet earlier today of Taylor Swift wearing that shirt, and somebody said, like, is it me or was she rooting for the Cavs against the Knicks with Travis Kelce like 2 weeks ago?
Well, I had one better, which I'm just going to read it to you right now. It had to do with like the look of Jerry Seinfeld, also courtside. And it's essentially the script for the next episode of Seinfeld, where Jerry's new girlfriend gets him courtside seats to the game, but turns out that she's a Spurs fan. George went to the game, but then left when they were down big and tried to get back in, and security wouldn't let him in. Elaine pretended to be Mariska Hargitay to get into James Dolan's box seats.
Yeah.
And Kramer was hosting an illegal viewing party outside of MSG, but then eventually somehow found a way to give Mike Brown the winning play.
You know what they say? You know what the big thing about Seinfeld is, right?
It's the show about nothing.
It's the show about nothing.
Which was why no matter what time frame, you can make an episode about it.
Yeah, you can. You can. Oh, man. All right. Let's dive in. I'm speechless, Josh. I mean, I can't even believe what took place last night. I looked at the stats earlier. I looked at the splits earlier. The Spurs, this truly was a tale of two halves.
Yep.
Right? The Spurs scored 76 points in the first half. They shot 60% from the field and 54% from three in the first half of last night's game.
Mm-hmm.
In the second half, the Spurs shot 20%. They had 8 field goals in the total minutes of last night's second half. They shot 20% from the field and 17% from three. Let me start this segment off by asking you this, Josh. And you can't, I'll even throw this out there also. You can't say both. You're not allowed.
Okay.
I'm revoking your First Amendment right.
You're revoking my amendment right to say a different answer than what you're providing.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. I'm taking it away.
Okay.
The tyrant that I am.
It's been taken. I feel taken.
Don't say that. Don't say that you feel taken on the air, please.
Guys, Mike Guido has taken me.
Oh, but don't say that.
And he is refusing to let me answer in a certain way.
Oh my gosh. Stop. Stop it. Anyway.
And we're canceled.
Right. And it's over. Was last night's game more about the Knicks coming back or the Spurs falling apart? What do you think?
Oh, it's both. No, I'm kidding.
Can't say
I know.
both.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I forgot. No, it is absolutely about the Spurs choking. It is Spurs choking. This is a situation where we have had a playoffs this year where the Orlando Magic and Jamal Mosley gave up a 22-point halftime lead, which was then followed by
the Cavs.
Kenny Atkinson giving up a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter.
In the second half of the fourth quarter,
right. To Mitch Johnson saying, "Hold my beer. I'm going to give up a 29-point lead in the second half," and cause the worst shooting display that, I mean, this shooting display made the Magic second half and the Cavs fourth quarter in those games look like they were okay. It was bad. They went average from the field. I'm going to pull this up because I prepared myself and got this loaded as well. You brought up as far as the field goal percentages. Here is the shooting chart that the shot chart that the Spurs had in the second half. You don't have to count it. I will count it for you. They attempted more three-pointers than two-pointers in the second half when they were up by 29 and have a 7'5" center. Why are you throwing up all these threes? And there was a period in the second half where 8 straight possessions involved a three-point shot. I don't know what plan there is when you're up by 29 with one of the 2 best players in the league who's 7'5", you're just pulling up from 3 instead of running out the clock. But here we are. Also, to your point, first time in any NBA game, regular season, playoffs, whatever, a team scored at least 76 points or more in the first half and then scored 30 or less in the second half.
Crazy.
This and when we really break it down, if you think about it, the Knicks are currently leading this series 3-1. This series realistically could be over in a Spurs sweep. The Spurs were up 14 in game 1 and lost. The Spurs were up 14 in game 2, had the shot at the end and lost. They won game 3, and then they were up 29 in the second half in game 4 and lost. This could have been a 4-game sweep. Instead, they're on the brink of having what would only be considered the biggest choke job in NBA Finals history, which is bizarre because all these games have just been so much fun to watch on so many different levels and so many angles.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as like the actual games are concerned, I think this, at least as far as I can remember, this is the biggest, like, I'm trying to find an alternate term for choke job, but it is the biggest choke job that I can remember in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say that I think as far as background, that when the Warriors went 73-9 and had a 3-1 lead against the Cavs, that I also felt like they choked away. But
oh, sure.
I will also and listen, I will 100% say that is like I will always hold that in higher regard than maybe some other people will. But look, the reality is that I would say this: the Spurs, the Spurs, like toning down how hot they were in the first half should have been expected by everybody, right? Eventually, just statistically speaking, Josh, you're going to regress back to the mean, right? You can't shoot 60% from the field for an entire game. It just doesn't happen. You will go cold at some point. Okay. So I did not expect this game to be a blowout. Even with the Spurs having a crazy first half, I expected, all right, the Knicks are going to come back a little bit. The Spurs are going to slow down. I still expected the Spurs to win the game because they were just up by so much.
Right.
But
when they're up by so much, that's when, hey, you dribble out the clock and you go in for 2-pointers and you get fouled and go to the line if needed.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take more 3-pointers than 2-pointers. I understand, the game today, people will shoot so many threes. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you're up by 29 and you need to just simply run the clock out.
Yeah, I mean, so by the end of the game, okay, and remind you, the Spurs shot 60% from the field in the first half. 60%. Mm-hmm. Okay. Champagny shot 2 of 9 to finish the game. That's 22%. Wemby was 36% from the field. He was 9 for 25. De'Aaron Fox was 6 for 16. That's 37.5%. Stephon Castle was only 2 for 7. Stephon Castle took 7 shots in that game. He was 2 for 7. That's 28%. Keldon Johnson was 1 for 5. I mean, Dylan Harper was 8 for 12. Devin Vassell was 6 for 9.
Dylan Harper has been like by light years the best player for the Spurs in the finals. I know Wemby's stats are higher, but Dylan Harper has been far and away the best player for the Spurs.
It's been Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle.
Yeah.
They've both been outstanding. Now, again, Stephon Castle had a rough night last night, but I mean, look, I'm with you in the fact that this was an all-time Spurs choke job, right? There is a line between, and again, this was going to be my original point. There is a line between regressing back to the mean and just completely going below what's expected.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs just could not pull it together late in that game. And again, this is, I think, a lot of what we were talking about, Josh, and a lot of the people that I've talked to, and these are not crazy sports people. These are just fans, right? These are just people that have watched, and they've all kind of said the same thing. It felt like so far in this finals that the moment gets a little big for them. It just gets a little big. Now, I would always attribute that to they're a bunch of dumb kids, right? They're seriously, like they're so young and so inexperienced that they're getting their first taste at this, and they really don't understand what all this pressure feels like, right? The Spurs walked in, and I gave them so much credit. The Spurs walked into Madison Square Garden in a fully hostile environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Madison Square Garden has not seen an NBA Finals game since 1999. They haven't won an NBA Finals game since 1973, right? Mm-hmm. They have not seen success in that building for so long. They walk into that building down 2-0 and beat the Knicks on their own floor. For the first time, that was the first Knicks loss in like 6 weeks. So they haven't lost since April, and they handed it to them in that environment. And then they go in, and by halftime they're winning by 30. You're thinking to yourself, like, wait a minute, you got the feeling that the tide had completely turned.
Yeah,
I was thinking after the Spurs had that huge lead last night, I'm thinking to myself, The Spurs are going to 4-0 the Knicks after losing the first two.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have just completely taken control, and the magic for the Knicks ran out a couple of games too early. That's what I was thinking. But here's the thing. I have to give the Knicks credit.
Oh, of course.
Because at the same time as the Spurs fell apart, Jalen Brunson turned it on again. Okay? OG Anunoby is playing as good of basketball as he's played in his entire career in this series.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this all the time, Josh. There's three things that need to go well for you. Title teams have three things in common. Okay? Hold on a second. Let me pull it up because
you wrote it down. I want to make sure you don't get it wrong.
I want to make sure I get it all right. You play well late in games.
Yep.
The Knicks do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to hold a lead. The Knicks do that.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the weird stuff that happens goes in your favor. Right? All the weird foul calls, all the weird out of bounds stuff where it's hard replays, and like all of that stuff seems to go in your favor. All of the stupid turnovers that happen, those things go in your favor. If you can play well late in games, you can hold the lead, and all the weird stuff happens, and it just so happens to go on your side, you've got something. And I think the Knicks have all three.
I want to add a fourth thing to that. And the fourth item is you have one of your role players step up when needed. And the Knicks always have that. And last night it was Jose Alvarado. Alvarado went 3 or 4 from the field and, was just a pest on defense.
Right.
And I mean, he, at the end of that game, Mikal Bridges was not in. Jose Alvarado was.
Yeah. Mikal Bridges has not been very productive in this series.
But that's the point where then someone else is going to step up. Last night was Alvarado. We saw in the conference finals, it was Landry Shamet. We've seen Deuce McBride step up. Last night, you even had, I mean, he doesn't have like much with stats per se, but you had the Knicks had to play Ariel Hukporti a little bit because of the early foul trouble with Cat. And he hadn't played really at all in the finals.
12 different Knicks played last night.
Yeah.
12. Jeremy Sohan played last night.
How often do you have 12 different players play in an NBA Finals game that is decided by 1 point?
It never happens.
Never. Tom Thibodeau is rolling in his grave, even though he's not dead.
He's rolling in his couch or something. Yeah. I don't know.
And that's when we talk about those items that you checked off, which are completely accurate in what the Knicks did.
Mm-hmm.
And then you flip that to the Spurs. They couldn't hold on to leads.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they had fewer turnovers than the Knicks last night, the turnovers are far more costly. And your stars and your coach just consistently made mistakes. Whether it was, like I mentioned earlier, Mitch Johnson just letting them just keep shooting threes and not tell them to go under the hoop. Whether it's Wemby with under 2 minutes to go, goes to the line and misses both free throws where he is their best free throw shooter. Mm-hmm. Or whether it's good old De'Aaron Fox at the end of the game, which I know we're going to get more into. Mm-hmm. Just completely doing. I like De'Aaron Fox a lot, but to be blunt, it was just one of the most boneheaded type plays you could have possibly done.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson controls the ball. OG Anunoby controls the ball. Cat controls things, even if in an off day. Josh Hart, even obviously in an off day when it comes with the shooting, he's still there to provide the defense and the support. And again, your bench players, your Mitchell Robinsons, your Landry Shamit's, your Jordan Clarkson, your especially Jose Alvarado yesterday. They find ways with the experience to win. And I love how you brought up the experience, because what have I been saying since the All-Star break?
Yeah.
I've been saying the Spurs are going to win next year, and they were going to get the experience this year. They got farther than I thought.
Yeah.
But this is where the experience comes into play. And I know you're going to say, well, then it's not like the Knicks have final experience. You're right, they don't, but they've been deep before, and Mike Brown has been there before. That's the difference.
They've also got players that have just been in the NBA for a long time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like OG Anunoby is a 2017 draft guy. Like he's been in the league for
Cat was
9 years.
Wasn't
Cat's
2015?
Jalen Brunson is 18.
Yep.
Like these guys have been around for a while.
Mitchell Robinson's 18. Jordan Clarkson's around there too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like these guys are not, they're not super old, but these are all guys in the middle portion of their career.
And most of those people, Brunson, Cat, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, they've been on teams that have also seen success prior to the Knicks.
Right.
So, yeah, you put all that together. Yeah, the Spurs got Harrison Barnes. Well, they didn't play him. I'm not saying he would have been the difference, but he's your most experienced guy.
Yeah.
So, he could have possibly provided some type of insight.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't know. I think, I don't know. We'll obviously talk more about this in the upcoming segment, but really quick, let's go to break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about what this means going forward for the Spurs, Josh, because I really think that this whole piece about the moment being big, right? Is it, I'll throw this question out to the audience so that we can think about it over the break. Is it reasonable right now to assume the kind of player that Wemby is already this early? We'll touch on that coming up next.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
You know, like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you not so bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
Crack him if you got him, son. Crack him if you got him, son.
Crack 'em if you got 'em. And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
you need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off, throw your score prediction in our live chat, and if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some Can Fan merch. Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Ball View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics, and most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail like he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure, you will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant. And you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez, because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that, because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh, and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports, mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different? Enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
All right, welcome back here to Mike and Josh, exclusively on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That's Josh Tariff. It's great to have you here. Again, close, kind of covering the NBA Finals. We are at the point now where, I mean, Josh, there's a lot of people that are saying right now that, you know, guys like Victor Wembanyama, just like, he's one of those players where, like, because you look at guys that were early in their careers, like some of the greats that we've seen, where, you know, like Michael has always been, the moment's never been too big for Michael, right? Mm-hmm. And that's always been a thing. The moment was never too big for Kobe, right? Wemby, it feels like the moment is a little big for him right now. Is it too early? I mean, this almost seems like it's a dumb question, Josh, but do we, like, is it reasonable to even think at this point that the moment right now is simply too big for somebody like Wemby? Could this be a lasting thing going forward for the Spurs and maybe him in his career?
I don't think that at all. I don't think it's too big as far as for Wemby. I mean, it might be big this moment. Mm-hmm. Wemby is going to be fine. What I really think is it's too big of a moment for Mitch Johnson. And that's what's going on, because I know I jokingly did like conspiracy theory type tinfoil hat last week.
Right. With the Sean Sweeney stuff. Yeah.
Right. But now I'm being serious, where I am very intrigued to see how the Spurs do next year without Sean Sweeney there. Mm-hmm. And see what Mitch Johnson can actually do and how to try to recoup things. Wemby is going to be Wemby. I'm not worried about him at all. His numbers are only going to continue to go up. His confidence is only going to continue to go up. And now getting this experience, the clutch mentality will only continue to go up. I go to Vegas in a couple of weeks for the World Series of Poker, and I'm going to try to find a way, hopefully there is a way, where I can place a parlay on the Spurs winning the championship next year, Wemby winning MVP and Defensive Player of the Year and Finals MVP. Like, I'm just that certain that all that's going to happen next year. Mm-hmm. Pending Mitch Johnson. Okay. So I'm not worried about Wemby. There's someone else on their roster as far as a player that I'm far more worried about than Wemby. Mm-hmm. That's De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
This man's making $50 million a year.
Yeah. Listen, we had that conversation before, Josh, about how, like, is De'Aaron Fox expendable? Like going forward, are the Spurs going to be having conversations of, we've got Stephon Castle, we've got Dylan Harper. Are we just going to move on? And I think, I genuinely, I really do think at some point, like, a year from now, I think we're going to be having the conversation of, yeah, they're going to have that conversation soon. Really.
Well, let me put it this way. Evan Sideri, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right, you know, NBA journalist. So this was tweeted out at about, I don't know, 5 a.m. my time this morning. So around 8. So first thing in the morning, he tweeted out, the Brooklyn Nets are a strong fit for De'Aaron Fox if the Spurs try to trade him this summer. So there's already talk about it.
Yeah.
That should not be any type of conversation. Yet, based on the way De'Aaron Fox has been playing, it has turned into a forefront conversation.
Now, here's the thing. Like, De'Aaron Fox is playing hurt, right? Like,
allegedly.
Well,
I agree with you that he's still hurt. I'm sure he is.
We can assume that the injury has slowed him up a little bit in some capacity, right?
Sure.
So, but is that the thought process going through San Antonio right now, where it's like we know, could they be thinking, all right, it might be time to move on from De'Aaron Fox because we got these two young guards that we absolutely love, and we want them to get the time, right?
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox making $50 million, and as long as De'Aaron Fox is here, Dylan Harper is not going to get his run, right? Or something along those lines. Or could they be saying, no, De'Aaron Fox is a really damn good player, and once he gets healthy, he's going to be a perfect fit? Because I tend to teeter on that line too. De'Aaron Fox is not a player that is like totally costly. He's not a liability. You know what I mean? He's still a very, very good player. So is that the conversation happening right now in San Antonio, do you think?
Well, considering next year he's set to make just under 50 million, the following year 53, and then the year after that 57, and the year after that 61. Yes. Especially where if he is hurt, as we are assuming, then why is he at the end of the game trying to run as fast as he can to jump up for a layup and not dribble the ball out to get fouled, where then he doesn't have to worry about his injury? Because I know being in the moment, your mind is going to be completely different. And we are completely remote quarterbacks at this point talking about that. I totally get that. But if you're at that type of skill level, you need to know what the situation is with the score and the clock. Because you don't jump up for that layup. One, OG doesn't block you. He fouls you. And then with roughly between 9 and 10 seconds left in the game, you're going to the line for 2 shots while your team is up 1. Then whatever happens after that happens.
Right.
But you obviously put your team in a much better situation to win.
Yeah.
In a game that you know you have to win, and you just watch them blow a 29-point lead.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, it is just crazy with I used the phrase in the first segment, the word bonehead. Between that play in game 2, was it game 2? Or was it game? Game 2, when Wemby threw the pass to Castle when he wasn't even looking and it bounced off his back.
Yeah. Yeah.
With, again, the coaching decisions that Mitch Johnson's been doing. The fact that I feel like I'm saying this repeatedly every damn week, that our reigning 6th man of the year isn't the 6th best player on his own team.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? That's the part. That's so puzzling to me. That Keldon Johnson is so like a second thought in this series. He really is. He's not their primary bench player.
Not even close.
Right.
But I mean, he's not their second primary bench player either. As of right now, in the finals, Kellen Johnson, according to ChatGPT, is averaging 3.8 points per game.
That's crazy. What did he
Sixth
average?
Man of the year.
What did he average over the regular season?
Let me pull that up.
Keldon Johnson, I'm looking it up too. Keldon Johnson averaged 13 points a game this year.
13, 5, and 1.5. 50, just under, and 52% from the field.
Right. 52%
played all 82 games.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I mean, and he played so how many minutes was he playing per game?
Minutes
23?
per game?
23 minutes
23 minutes per game off the bench. And last night he played 18, was 1 for 5 from the field.
It's puzzling. I will say, though, like the Spurs, I was talking about it with a buddy of mine a couple of days ago, but the Spurs young talent, like their collection of young talent is devastating.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's so.
Oh, it's
like,
incredible.
Just think about it. Wembanyama, Castle, Harper, Vassell, Johnson, Carter Bryant. Like, and that doesn't include De'Aaron Fox, Champagny.
Right.
Like, it's just my God, they have so many good young players. It is crazy to me. So,
and they still have just about all of their picks.
Yeah.
Like they haven't really lost anything. In 2028, the Spurs have the right to swap picks with Boston.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, like all their picks are typically their normal ones.
Yeah.
And so you have all this youth and all this skill, and you're as good as you are right now, and you got more on the way. By the way, in addition with that, to just show how close and how great this team is. In the 4 games so far in the NBA Finals, if you combined all the scores, the score will currently be Knicks 428, Spurs 420. There's an 8-point difference in 4 games.
Yeah.
And you only won one of them.
Yep. I'm telling you, the Knicks, look, we've been bashing the Spurs a little bit, but the reality is that the Knicks are beyond the hottest team in basketball, and they have been for 2 months. They have been so devastating.
They have lost 1 game since the NFL draft.
Right. Right. Yeah.
The draft was nearly 2 months ago.
Right. Exactly. It's June 11th. In 10 days, it'll be June 21st. They've lost 1 game since April 21st. They've lost 1 game in nearly 2 months. Like, it is beyond. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, coming up next, we're not done with the NBA Finals. By the way,
we are not.
We're serious. If you thought we were done, we're not. Let's answer this question, Josh. After last night, I wouldn't even say after last night, with everything that's happened, but it may be including the fact of last night, is OG Anunoby the NBA Finals MVP? We'll discuss that next.
Cowboys Nation, what up? It's your boy EJ Savage over here at Boys in the Zone, where it's everything Cowboys related, from the latest news, off-season talk like training camp and draft analysis, and of course, during season game breakdowns and commentary. Would love to see you in the chat kicking it with myself and other members of Cowboys Nation, whether it be a guest that I myself bring in, or Cowboys fan forum videos where I bring you guys on, or even other chat members. We're always live on Twitter and YouTube talking the boys, so really the only thing left to say is, how about them Cowboys? See you there. Peace.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim Barnett, and welcome into the Boston Sports Summit. If you're a fan of any of these 4 teams right here, or you're like me and you love all 4 of them and you follow them religiously, you're a big fan, this is the show for you. The big thing with this is real commentary and authenticity. I'm going to tell you like it is. If we're great, then we're great. But if we suck, I'm going to tell you that we suck and we need to improve. I'm also not afraid to call out our ownership or front office for making bad decisions, just like I'm not afraid to call out our coaches or our players for screwing some things up or doing great. All right? Because that's what this show is all about. It's about authenticity. So listen, if you're a fan of any of these teams or you're a fan of all 4 of them, check me out, the Boston Sports Summit, every Wednesday, live at 7 p.m., and it's electric, all right? We're going to go into some great detail about the Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and even the Bruins. And hey, you might even get a guest appearance from my little puppy here. So, it's a great show. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. You can also follow me on all socials, on Instagram, X, and YouTube, Boston Sports Summit. So check us out. It's a great show. It's a great time. Hope to see you there. God bless.
What's going on, y'all? It's Arthur Hurst from the Grid Network, letting y'all know to check out the Saturday morning tailgate starting at 10 Eastern every Saturday. Check us out on YouTube, X, Instagram, wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in for some humor, some great analytics between me, my boy Bryson, and Tim. Again, Saturday morning tailgate every Saturday at 10 Eastern on the Grid Network. See y'all there.
Alrighty, welcome back. We are here for Mike and Josh exclusively on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That is Josh Tariff. It is great to have you on this Thursday evening. Towards the end of our number 1 of our program this evening. Still plenty to cover today. We have not even touched on the NFL. We have not touched on fantasy football, which I know Josh is dying to do. And who knows? Maybe we can brainstorm a little game earlier. I'm still, by the way, I'm still trying to come up with as many 82-0 teams as I possibly can.
I still have not come up with a single one.
Maybe that's what we'll do at the end today. We'll see if, Josh, if you and I together can
get an 82-0 team,
can come up with an 82-0 team together. We'll see if we can finally do it. And maybe that'll be like a running joke. Maybe that's what we'll do, Josh.
Maybe we just have to end every show with it until we get to 82-0.
We'll see how many episodes it takes for us to get to 82-0.
All right, we're on number 2 now.
We're on number 2 now. So there we go. All right. So the question that I posed to you, Josh, and not only to you but to the audience, was after everything that has gone on through 4 games of this series, and obviously what last night's game gave us was a very dramatic ending, right? The tip in from OG Anunoby, it was unreal. Okay. Is OG Anunoby the finals MVP over Jalen Brunson in this series? Is OG the finals MVP? What do you think, Josh?
Before I give you my answer, let me give you the comparison with the two, because I wanted to prepare this ahead of time. So through 4 games, points per game, Brunson leading. He's at 29.5. OG's at right around 24. So obviously we know Brunson's going to score more points.
Yeah.
Rebounds, they're even. They're both at 4. Assists per game, Brunson is crushing OG. 5 to 1.3. Then from there, it gets interesting. Steals, OG over Brunson. Blocks, OG over Brunson. Field goal percentage, Brunson 39%, OG Anunoby 58%. 3-point percentage, Brunson 24%, OG 55%.
Wait, so wow. Jalen Brunson is shooting 24% from 3 in this series?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And OG is 55.
Wow.
And then free throw percentage, both are outstanding. Brunson's at 89%. OG's at 91%. So when you go to the true shooting percentage, Brunson's is under 50%. OG Anunoby's is at 79%. Add the dramatic effect of the tip-in from last night.
Maybe a little bit of defense too in that.
Well, that's why I said steals and blocks. OG is ahead of Brunson in that, and they take Brunson out for those key defensive plays at the end of the game.
As they should, yeah.
As they should. And then when you look at the DraftKings odds, Brunson is still the favorite at -110, but OG is now in second at +210. He's right on Brunson's heels.
Mm-hmm.
If you have another game where their numbers are similar like they were last night, where last night OG had 33 points, Brunson had 36. Brunson had 5 rebounds, OG had 4. When you're doing that, if they are similar, I wouldn't be surprised if OG wins it.
With the amount of big moments that it seems like OG has been in, the amount of big shots that OG has made, it would not shock me. It really wouldn't shock me.
I had one friend that I was texting last night after the game. By the way, I don't remember if I told you this. So I'm literally standing in my living room watching the end of this game because I could not stay in my seat.
Mm-hmm.
As OG is being interviewed after the game, my power went out.
Really? Oh, jeez.
If the power went out 90 seconds earlier,
you would have missed it.
I would have missed it.
Wow.
I would have cried.
Wow.
And I had no dog in this fight, and I just still would have cried.
Yeah. That's one of those sports moments you don't want to miss.
Right. And I was, texting with a friend of mine, like right after the game, and all I texted was simply in all caps, OMG. And she replied, "You spelled it wrong. It's OG." And I'm like, "You're absolutely right. Oh my God, it's OG."
Yeah. Yeah.
If they have similar stat lines for the remainder of the series, whether it goes 5 or 6 or 7 games, if their numbers are similar, well, actually, let me rephrase it. If they win in game 5 and they have similar numbers, OG will win it because of what happened with game 4.
Yeah.
If it goes longer and they have similar, it'll probably by popularity go to Brunson.
OG Anunoby has been the best player for the Knicks in this series.
Yes. Agreed.
If you watch what's happened, through the first 4 games, OG Anunoby has been their most consistent and best player this series. He has been. He's been better than Jalen Brunson. He's been better than Karl Anthony Towns. He's been better than Mikal Bridges. He's been better than Josh Hart. He has been better than everybody on their team. Okay. Now, here's the other question. And this one I think is far more interesting. Josh, there are a lot of people out there, myself included even, I'll even put that out there, that thinks that if the Knicks win the finals, Jalen Brunson will be crowned as the greatest Knick of all time. However, in the midst of this conversation, Josh, can that statement still be true if Jalen Brunson does not win Finals MVP?
No.
If OG Anunoby is Finals MVP, even though Jalen Brunson is the proverbial leader of this team, is that if Jalen Brunson doesn't win Finals MVP, does that revoke his greatest Knick of all time status?
I think if Jalen Brunson were to win MVP, it is a very valid argument that you could say that he's the greatest Knick of all time. If OG Anunoby ends up winning the Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson needs to lead this team. Doesn't mean they have to win another one, but they got to get deep at least one more time on his back, and or him be an MVP finalist for them to then consider him the greatest Knick of all time. Because realistic right now, it's a 3-headed race between Clyde Frazier, Patrick Ewing, and Jalen Brunson. The fact that Jalen Brunson's in that conversation right now, being that he is now he is in the midst of his prime. He will go down as the greatest Knick ever, pending some craziness that happens in his future. But he could absolutely be considered it if they were to win MVP. If OG wins MVP, though, might have to wait just a little longer to give him that distinction.
Yeah. I tend to agree. Now, here's the thing, right? Now, there are a lot of people, I think, by the way, where you're with your 3-headed race comment. I think there are a lot of Willis Reed stands out there that will disagree with you.
Of course.
But I mean, I don't know. I just
you're like, but
no, because I'm really thinking about it, Josh, because like if Jalen Brunson goes out in Game 5 and scores 40 points and they win the series,
it's a no-brainer.
He's going to win Finals MVP.
Absolutely.
Like he is. He just is. So, like, but does that crown him? I look, it really depends on how much weight you put. Here's a question for all of my like 90s Knicks fans, the amount of 40-year-olds that I know that
which is just
lived
me.
and died by 90s Knicks basketball with you.
Grew up in Massachusetts. I was watching more Knicks than Magic because they were on more in my area. So yeah.
Right. So are Knicks fans, this is what I'm curious to find out. Are Knicks fans, like, are they ready to crown Brunson as a better Knick all time than Ewing?
Tell you what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to text one of my childhood best friends right now with that question, who's a diehard Knicks fan.
You know what? I'm going to do
who's also annoyed with me that I haven't brought him on the podcast. So too bad. But hi, Derek. That's your name. And I gave you a shout out on the show, whether you like it or not. Question we are asking right now on the podcast. If Knicks win in 5, I'll say, and Brunson is MVP, does he become the greatest Knick ever? And I will also mention to him that I am specifically using his name with his answer.
Okay. I'm throwing it in a group chat with all of my like diehard Knick fan friends.
Yeah.
And I'm saying live question on the podcast right now. Who is the greatest Knick of all time? Who will it be if the Knicks win the finals? And who will it be if the Knicks win the finals, but Brunson doesn't win finals MVP?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three questions I'm asking, because I'd be curious who Knick fans think the greatest Knick of all time is now, right? Because I think there are a lot of Knick fans, Josh, that would say that it's Patrick Ewing.
Sure.
I think a lot of Knick fans would say the greatest Knick of all time is Patrick Ewing.
I
And
would
that's not something dumb to say.
No.
Right?
I mean, headed into this season, that'd be my answer, would be Patrick Ewing.
I think that would be a lot of people's answers, right?
Yeah.
And it depends on how much you weight the finals that were won in the 70s by Walt Frazier and by Willis Reed. Like, I think those are really your conversations, right? Like, I don't think you can have I don't think Carmelo Anthony is in that discussion, right? I can't imagine that he is.
No.
He's not a greater Knick than Ewing was. They both didn't win a title. I think
close.
Ewing did more for the city than Melo did.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like, if the championship holds a ton of weight, right?
No, a tonnest of weight. Yes, a tonnest of weight.
I know. Listen, it's 8:00 on the East Coast.
Oh, stop it!
Tired.
Stop it!
Tired. It's not that late. I get it, but I've been up for a while. I'm a school teacher. I get up early in the morning. Anyway, and I spend all day talking and teaching and whatever. So I got a response back. So, and this is from a guy who grew up in the 80s, 90s. Okay. He said, greatest is probably Ewing, but Brunson is not far behind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's still writing. So we'll see about that. So how about this? We'll pause the segment right here. We'll go into break, and then into hour number 2, we'll talk about Patrick Mahomes and that extension stuff and what all that means and everything. We'll kind of have that as a plan going into hour number 2, but we'll kind of continue this discussion of the greatest Knicks ever and how that could possibly change. We'll get an answer to some of our text messages, and we'll hear back from the audience a little bit later. Next.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
You know, like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you not. So Bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Crack 'em if you got 'em. And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
you need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off, throw your score prediction in our live chat, and if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some Can Fan merch. Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Ball View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics, and most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant, and you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been, just I'm Alex Rodriguez because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different, enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
All right, welcome back to Mike and Josh exclusively on the Grid Network. We are back for our number 2.
Yeah.
I forgot to play the music and put up the thing and everything.
Who needs it? Who needs it? We're just so focused on this game. We're still flabbergasted. We're still speechless. We're so speechless that we've talked about it for over an hour.
Yeah. So, so I got a couple of texts back.
As did I.
So one of them said, and again, so one of them is my age, one of them is older than us, right? He said the greatest right now is probably Ewing, but Brunson's not far behind. And then I asked if Brunson wins it, is he going to become the new one? And he said, yeah, he will be. If Brunson wins it, he'll be the new one. And I said, even if he doesn't win Finals MVP, is he still the new one? And he said, yes.
Wow.
So he thinks even if Brunson doesn't win Finals MVP, if the Knicks win the title, Jalen Brunson would become the greatest Knick ever. I'm continuously getting texts now. Another one of my buddies said, if Brunson gets Finals MVP, then he is. If not, it would go Clyde, Reed, Ewing.
So he wouldn't even be the top 3.
He wouldn't be top 3.
So here's what I find fascinating. So you've just read 2 different texts. I have 2 different texts, and all 4 of them have different answers. So here are the ones that I have. So I'll give, again, one of my childhood best friends, Derek Johnson. I'll give him his flowers because he wants me to bring him up so damn much when talking about the Knicks. And especially he was like, hey, if they win in 5 like I predicted, you got to put me on the show. I'm not going to do that because Mike also said Knicks in 5. So I said Knicks in 6. But I asked him the same question. So, hey, if Knicks win and Brunson's MVP, is he the greatest Knick of all time? He said, no, but definitely top 3. And I said, okay, so what would the top 3 be? What would the top 3 be then? And his top 3, Clyde Frazier, then Jalen Brunson, then Patrick Ewing. Willis Reed ain't even there.
So, but Willis Reed won Finals MVP in both of their titles.
Again, here's one opinion and he is my age.
Okay.
And then one other, our friend who we have mentioned on the show before, Josh Rodriguez, host of the Dime NBA podcast, has brought us up on their show. We've brought him up on this show.
Yeah, right.
He's diehard Knicks as well. Mm-hmm. He's thinking about, draining out his 401k to try to get tickets at this point. And so I asked him the same question.
Mm-hmm.
First part was he said, it's probably Clyde Frazier. He won 2 chips and, in my opinion, really underrated and better all around. Brunson is definitely up there, though. Finals MVP, though, doesn't swing my thoughts either way. So then I asked him, okay, well then does Brunson then take over Ewing for second place? And he said, probably by the end of his career because he's only been a Knick for 4 years.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So I haven't heard that one yet. So that's okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I thought I would hear more Ewing.
I did too.
I thought I would hear more Ewing. So that's part of the experiment that I think we both anticipated. I did say somebody, okay, so somebody said, I did have one of my buddies say Ewing, and then he said after that it's really a toss-up. He also said, and this is the young guy of the group, and he's like a huge Carmelo Anthony guy. He said until the Brunson saga, Melo was a discussion. I really don't know that it was.
I completely disagree.
Melo as a Knick.
I mean,
as an all-time Knick.
I mean, I know this is going to be a scalding hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know obviously he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. He's one of the best shooters that the NBA has ever had.
He's one of the best scorers the NBA has ever seen.
Right, absolutely. And there's no question about that. I don't know if he did more for the Knicks than Allen Houston did. Because Allen Houston's the one who led them in '99.
Or did he do more for the Nuggets in his
career?
Career?
I think he did more for the Nuggets.
Right. So, look, I think realistically, Melo, as far as Melo is concerned, I think Carmelo Anthony is probably, if you want to list the best players who have ever played for the Knicks, Carmelo Anthony is probably right up there.
Oh, sure.
Else, right. I think as far as greatest Knicks ever, I think you have to get through Ewing. You have to get through Frazier and Reed. I think at this point, I still think you have to get through Brunson.
Yep.
You have to get through some of those guys first. I don't know. Melo also in his playoff career with the Knicks was not anything to write home about.
Right.
So,
that's what I'm saying. They didn't do anything with him when he was there in the playoffs.
Right.
Allen Houston brought them to the finals as an 8 seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, he's got to get through Latrell Sprewell before he gets through. I mean,
and Larry Johnson.
Charles Oakley, who apparently him and Jimmy Dolan. Is it Jimmy Dolan that he doesn't get along with anymore?
Yeah, well, yeah, the boss. Wasn't he banned from Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, he was for a long time too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if he still. I don't think he still is, but I'd have to look at that. So yeah, as they come in, I'll start bringing back this conversation. This will be an ongoing conversation probably for the rest of the show. But all right, let's shift our focus to the NFL briefly. So news broke earlier this week that Patrick Mahomes is getting an extension to his current contract. He's gotten a restructured deal. It adds 2 years to his deal, and that pushes his total compensation, his total contract amount, past $500 million. Crazy. So a few years ago, right, in 2020, he signed that massive, never before seen in the NFL, 10-year, $450 million contract, which is just something that I didn't think was possible for an NFL player. Now it is coming to a $522.25 million value. And it's a 2-year extension, Josh. So this was going to pay him till he was 38. Now it's going to pay him till he's 40. I mean, what was your reaction when you saw this?
My one reaction was, wow, we haven't seen how he's going to play post his first major injury. And we're going to make sure that he is our quarterback for the next 7 more years.
Yeah. Right.
That was part of, honestly, the number didn't surprise me. It was just adding more years to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also now attempting to try to look up the order as far as the top quarterback contracts currently in the NFL. We know obviously this is number 1. So this is the type of thing though where, okay, well, we're putting a whole lot of money and a whole lot more money into him because now it's the situation where he's going to be average as of 2027. his average annual is going to be $64 million for 7 more years. So you would think, okay, if he is Tom Brady, then at the end of that contract, it's a steal based on inflation and all that.
Right.
But you're also then expecting him in these next 8 years, to get at least 3 more Super Bowls. With the roster they have right now, that's not happening.
No, it's not.
So, okay, you're putting him in. We know Kelsey's going to be gone after this last year, more than likely. You add Kenneth Walker, so he'll be there for at least the next few years. Your defense is old.
Right.
Where else are we building when you're paying your quarterback such a large percentage of your salary cap?
Now, I'm not going to be the guy who...
Oh, be the guy. I don't care what it's about. Just be that guy. Be that guy.
I'm not going to be the guy who, like, totally bogs down on the idea of Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to be that guy. Okay. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
But I will say his passing yards and his touchdowns have declined each of the last 4 years. He's now entering his age 31 season. And for a quarterback, that's not old. Okay. I just found it funny that they chose to extend him even longer after that being the fact and after this year being his career low.
Right.
That's what I thought, right? I was thinking to myself, well, it isn't a surefire thing right now that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL anymore, right? I think we are pretty certain that he's still one of the 2 or 3 best in the league. So
when he's healthy, there's no question about that.
I'm picking it like I'm nitpicking here.
Right. I mean, I have, you can pick your order, but to me, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow are the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah. But you also wonder, like, what Patrick Mahomes this year in 14 games threw for 3,600 yards, slightly below, 22 touchdowns and 11 picks.
Didn't the Chiefs also lead the league in drop passes?
Yeah,
or they were one of the top. Yeah,
yeah. They did not. The Chiefs obviously did not have a good year last year.
Right.
And those are the things. Now, listen. When it comes to the NFL, when you find your guy, you find your guy, right? Like, I'm not going to be dumb enough to say, well, what do you expect them to do? Let Patrick Mahomes go? Like, that's not what I'm saying. I just found it a little funny and a little ironic that, like, they chose now to extend his contract after a career low year for him. Now, does this do anything? I would say no, Josh. Like, does it do anything to the market of quarterbacks? I would say it does 0.
Well, yeah, it doesn't do much because if you're looking at the average per year, he is now number 1. Number 2 is Dak Prescott at 60.
It's so crazy.
So, again, that's the average. If you're looking at the total contract amount, Josh Allen is second, but Josh Allen's is at 330. And Mahomes is 504.
Right.
So it does a little difference there. But as far as average, no. And again, we know these are only going to continue to go up because, like, for example, like who's the next big quarterback for contract to end? I'm looking at... Oh, no, that's a mistake. I don't want to do that because then I'm looking at backup quarterbacks, and that will take forever. I'm doing this. I see Lamar Jackson ends in 2027 currently.
Yeah.
Where he was getting a total of $260 million. I mean, if he continues to play the way that he does, he might get another contract similar, maybe slightly more than that. He ain't going to get anywhere near Mahomes' contract.
Right.
But yeah, but base where everyone else is locked in, because I mean, like, Josh Allen's locked in till 2030, and he's in second place right now. Lawrence is still 2030. Burrow's still 2029. So, I mean, it could definitely have some impact in about 3 or 4 years.
Right. Yep.
But in the short term, no, it's not going to do anything.
Yep. I agree 100%. Again, we'll see what how this works out for them. I mean, I would imagine that, listen, whatever they've paid already has paid itself in full, right? We got to kind of think about, like, what investment you've made in your quarterback already. Like, are you willing to take L's on, like, contractual value if you've already gotten a few rings under your belt?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would say the answer to that is probably yeah. If you've won a few Super Bowls with him and, like, the next few years probably aren't going to be so great, I think you'll live with that, and, you start writing the checks with the rings on your fingers. Like,
right.
that's what you do. So, all right. Coming up next, Josh, let's talk a little bit about fantasy football.
Oh,
okay?
yes.
We'll break down some stuff. I'm going to let you kind of lead that discussion. I've got a few names written down, but I'm curious to see what you like, who you like this year. Maybe some guys that we're not thinking about. We'll touch on that next.
Cowboys Nation, what up? It's your boy EJ Savage over here at Boys in the Zone, where it's everything Cowboys related, from the latest news, off-season talk like training camp and draft analysis, and of course, during season game breakdowns and commentary. Would love to see you in the chat kicking it with myself and other members of Cowboys Nation, whether it be a guest that I myself bring in, or a Cowboys fan forum videos where I bring you guys on, or even other chat members. We're always live on Twitter and YouTube talking the boys, so really the only thing left to say is, how about them Cowboys? See you there. Peace.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim Barnett, and welcome into the Boston Sports Summit. If you're a fan of any of these 4 teams right here, or you're like me and you love all 4 of them and you follow them religiously, you're a big fan, this is the show for you. The big thing with this is real commentary and authenticity. I'm going to tell you like it is. If we're great, then we're great. But if we suck, I'm going to tell you that we suck and we need to improve. I'm also not afraid to call out our ownership or front office for making bad decisions, just like I'm not afraid to call out our coaches or our players for screwing some things up or doing great. All right? Because that's what this show is all about. It's about authenticity. So listen, if you're a fan of any of these teams or you're a fan of all 4 of them, check me out, the Boston Sports Summit, every Wednesday, live at 7 p.m., and it's electric, all right? We're going to go into some great detail about the Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and even the Bruins, and hey, you might even get a guest appearance from my little puppy here. So, it's a great show. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. You can also follow me on all socials, on Instagram, X, and YouTube, Boston Sports Summit. So check us out. It's a great show. It's a great time. Hope to see you there. God bless.
What's going on, y'all? It's Arthur Hurst from the Grid Network, letting y'all know to check out the Saturday morning tailgate starting at 10 Eastern every Saturday. Check us out on YouTube, X, Instagram, wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in for some humor, some great analytics between me, my boy Bryson, and Tim. Again, Saturday morning tailgate every Saturday at 10 Eastern on the Grid Network. See y'all there.
All righty, we are back and refreshed for Mike and Josh exclusively on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That is Josh Tariff. I love that drop. I really do. I love the drop that we do. It just gives you such a mental refresh. I love it. Anyway, so Josh, before we try to go 82-0 for the first time on this program, okay, episode number 2, okay, we're going to give another effort. Let's talk about fantasy football.
Yes.
So
fantasy football, I know it's not happening yet, but when we're having more signings and trades happen in the NFL, that just means that we're getting closer and closer to the greatest invention since the history of the microwave. I don't know. You pick an invention. I mean, something up there.
The air fryer. The air fryer.
You know what?
The air fryer.
It was the microwave until the air fryer was invented.
Yeah.
So fantasy football, I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I've ran leagues for years. I play in multiple leagues. I do it all and can't wait to talk more and more about it, especially as football season draws closer and closer. But since right now we're hanging out and, football is in the air because we talked about Mahomes' contract, why don't we just start now and just start giving a few, of possible sleeper ideas? Because we know your obvious picks. If if all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm going to take Josh Allen. Wow, that's a reach. Good job with that. I think Christian McCaffrey have a good year. Okay, you clearly have done your research. So I've just been taking a little look, and ideally, I'm just kind of picking one in each position for now. That is definitely not one of your top choices.
Yeah,
but one that you could potentially get mid to late rounds, and I think could definitely have a big impact on your team at some point in the season.
Yep.
So I'm going to pass it to you at first as far as what position you would like to start with.
So I think running back is obviously the big fantasy position, right? That's really the top go. And I know in a lot of PPR leagues, you'll see the Jamar Chases and some of the other top receivers go early if they're projected for something crazy. But I would say running back is really the strong suit. So let's say you are a team that's looking at maybe the 8th pick or something in the first round for your PPR league, right? And you don't want to take Ashton Genty for some reason, right? And you wanted to go with a wide receiver and you need somebody later that you might be able to get some value from. Who are some nice high value running backs that you like going into this year?
So yeah, when you get rid of your obvious ones, because Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, those are going to be 3 of the first 5 picks in the draft.
Yep.
So if you don't land one of those guys, the one that immediately pops out to me is Omari and Hampton. Because Omari and Hampton, he missed about half of his rookie season hurt, and the entire Chargers offensive line was destroyed. But now they're healthy. You brought in Mike McDaniel for the offensive coordinator position. There's going to be far more schemes because look at what McDaniel has done for Devon Achane in Miami. I think Omari Hampton will have a breakout year at running back, and you can definitely get him 3rd, maybe 4th round, based on the way, players are going. So I definitely like him. And then I would say an honorable mention, more so of a handcuff type pick, is Tyler Algier. Because, Jeremiah Love is obviously going to get the lead in Arizona, even though Algier was the one that they brought in as far as, hey, you're going to be our lead back. And then they went and drafted Jeremiah Love. So the thing is, Jeremiah Love's going to get beat up because they have no offensive line. So Algier is still going to get his share of the carries. So, he is, again, towards the end of the draft, but as a good handcuff pickup for if in the event that Jeremiah Love does go down, you got a strong running back in Algier. But as far as one that you can definitely be the anchor of your fantasy running back position.
Yep.
I love Omarion Hampton this year.
Yeah. So I love both of those. I think the one that stuck out for me was Quinshon Judkins. I think Quinshon Judkins could be somebody that you could have maybe in the 5th, 6th, maybe even later. I think for a team like the Browns, that this is going to be a team that's going to run the ball a lot, right? That's how they're going to be able to create their offense. Excuse me. The quarterback play could be very minuscule, right? Depending on what they do. Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, whoever they decide to play as their starting QB, they're going to be relying a lot on their running game. This is a team that obviously needs to do a little bit more with their offensive line, but I think Quinshon Judkins, after what he showed last year, I think he's going to be somebody that their offense is going to rely upon a lot. I think he's going to have a lot of touches. So he's been my guy at running back. I think he's somebody that you could really go out and get a lot of value from. As far as maybe a running back, Josh, that you should stay away from, who do you think that could be?
So, for me, it's kind of like two guys that are projected to do really well that I was just mentioning. And those two are Devon Achane and Jeremiah Love. Because Jeremiah Love, like I said, there's no offensive line, and it could while I know he's not the same type of player as Ashton Genty, he could very well have the same type of rookie season as Ashton Genty, which was not nearly as good as what everyone projected it to be. Ashton Genty last year, in most of my drafts, was like somewhere between pick 7 and 10 of the first round.
Yeah, right.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremiah Love is similar. So I would dodge that. And then with Devon Achane, well, he just got paid. They have now a new quarterback who has no one to throw the ball to.
Yeah, right.
So Devon Achane is the only real target that everyone is going to be going after. So I definitely expect him to take a dip from where he has been the last couple years.
Yeah.
And again, first round caliber type talent, but I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one guy that I've always avoided, and it's actually done me some good. And it's not one of these super top tier guys, right? I'm not going to be the guy that says, hey, avoid Jonathan Taylor, but I will say avoid Chase Brown. I'm not a Chase Brown guy. I just feel like he's going to be somebody that is, maybe for this year and then maybe another year or two down the line is just going to be like perennially overvalued. I just don't think he's that good of a player. I get that he's a lead back, but that's a bad offensive line. This is very obviously a pass first offense. I just don't like the value. I think if you're planning on drafting Chase Brown in like the 3rd round, I just think that you're wasting something. I feel like there's got to be more out there that you can get. I wouldn't take Chase Brown until like the 5th or the 6th round.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I think he's very clearly at best a mid-tier RB2 in my mind. All right, let's switch positions, Josh. Let's go to wide receiver.
Wide receiver
is an interesting position, right? Because it's so polarizing, because you can have guys that you get super duper late and they just break out for a few games and they carry your team for a while. Who do you think those guys could be? What do you think are some higher value wide receivers that you could grab outside of the top guys?
So I'm kind of surprised how low this guy is ranked based on how he played for most of last season. But because, according to, the ESPN, fantasy football ranking, they got Emeka Egbuka at 23 at wide receiver.
Yep.
Give me him all day. No more Mike Evans. So he is the surefire, bona fide #1 target in what is still, even though it has improved, it's still the worst division in football in the NFC South. So I am all about having him be one of my top receivers because we know how much Baker throws the ball.
Yep.
So he's gonna pull up the stats. And then one other one, well, now this one is questionable because he's a rookie. Carnell Tate.
Yeah, he was the guy I had circled too.
Because Tennessee's going to be playing from behind. Cam Ward's going to be throwing. Carnell Tate is clearly going to be his top target.
Yeah.
So that is worth taking a shot on. ESPN has him ranked 27th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a guy that you can get 6th round or so.
Yeah, right.
So I think that could definitely be a good pickup. And then I'll throw one more at you. Lad McConkey. His numbers definitely went down in year 2 for the Chargers. But again, just like with Amari and Hampton, offensive line has gotten healthier, which is going to give Herbert more time to throw. So I can see him having a bounce back year as well.
Yeah. So you took one of mine because one of mine was Carnell Tate. The other guy I was going to bring up, though, I have a feeling you're going to disagree with this because he really never is a super duper fantasy guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like his new situation is going to do really well for him. I really like DJ Moore. I really think DJ Moore is going to work out in Buffalo. I just feel like he's the kind of receiver where he's going to go in there and he's immediately going to be Josh Allen's top target.
Sure.
Like he's going to be the guy that he looks for, right? And it's going to be in both scenarios. He's going to be able to make the big play, but he's also going to be that possession receiver that he's going to bring in 7 or 8 catches a game and be that security blanket for Josh Allen, that stabilizing figure in that passing game. I think DJ Moore is such a good fit there. There's one more guy that I think is at the top of the list that I think needs to get more recognition here. I think because of the injury, he's gotten a little bit undervalued. Are we forgetting how good Malik Neighbors is? I hate to say it because he's a Giant, but Malik Neighbors is a superstar.
He is, but they're still questioning how healthy he is all this time later.
I get it. I just think if you can get him healthy, he's a definite fantasy number 1 receiver. Definite.
Sure.
So if you can get him round 3 or something, I think you take that chance in my mind.
And then one other that I'll just throw at you, since you brought up the point with DJ Moore, because DJ Moore is over in Buffalo. Hey, probably in the 8th, 9th, maybe even 10th round, Luther Burden will still be available.
Mm-hmm.
Who obviously is going to get far more targets now that DJ Moore is gone from Chicago. So he could definitely be a good pickup to help bolster your wide receiving core.
So wide receivers to stay away from, Josh. What do you think?
I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but Justin Jefferson. Because who's throwing him the ball?
Right.
You're only as good as your quarterback, and we saw him take a nosedive last year, and he still had a very good year, all things considered, for fantasy receivers. But where is it Kyler Murray? Will he stay healthy? Will JJ McCarthy? Will he stay healthy? So, I mean, if I'm looking at one of these top receivers, that's the one that really sticks out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is I mean, as much as I want him, and obviously we know he has the physical abilities to be the top receiver in the league, but you can only be so good at receiver if your quarterback can't get you the ball.
Yeah. I have the same reasoning, but I have the same reasoning for Garrett Wilson. I just feel like Garrett Wilson is the guy stuck in that situation with the Jets where you're looking at him and he's got Geno Smith as his quarterback, and he might be a little better than what they've seen in years past, but he had a bad year with the Raiders last year, and now he's coming over to the Jets. His old team, is there really going to be something to spark there? I don't know what kind of offense we're going to see from the Jets this coming season, and I think Garrett Wilson kind of falls victim to that.
Mhm.
All right, let's burn through tight ends, quarterbacks, and get into break. Tight ends, I think, is a little bit more condensed, right? Because you're not really carrying, I feel like not very often you're carrying more than one tight end. But let's think here. Who do you love? Who do you hate as far as tight ends?
Love, it's no question to me as far as like when you avoid, if you're not having like one of the top ones.
Mm-hmm.
Love Isaiah Likely.
Ooh, interesting. I like
Isaiah Likely now with the Giants, followed Harbaugh to New York. Now it's going to be interesting to see how he coincides because Theo Johnson, as far as I know, is still there.
Mm-hmm.
But Harbaugh already knows him. We're going to slow down Jackson Dart from running. And we know young quarterbacks, their best friends are always the tight end. So I expect much bigger numbers from Isaiah Likely than what we had last year in Baltimore. As far as one that I hate, I don't know if I would use the word hate, but it would probably go to Tyler Warren. Again, for the same exact reason I talked about Justin Jefferson. Who's throwing him the ball?
You're not a Daniel Jones guy?
Is he going to be healthy?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Interesting. So I agree with you in that sense. I really do like Isaiah Likely. As far as a guy that I really, really like, I think Jake Ferguson is going to surprise some people this year. Like, I really think he has the skill set of a top tier tight end, especially if there's maybe a little bit of inconsistency with George Pickens in Dallas. I think Jake Ferguson is going to be a guy that Dak relies on a lot. A guy that I hate, somebody right in that same area. I really am not big into drafting Travis Kelce this year.
Sure.
I think Travis Kelce is just done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then
I think the time has passed for him. I was stunned that he came back for one more year. I think Travis Kelce right now is somebody to avoid.
And then one other real quick, and this is going to be like towards the very end or maybe even early waiver wire, Terrence Ferguson, another Ferguson.
Yeah, right.
Because Kobe Parkinson for the Rams was getting the bulk of the look, but I can't tell you, listen in LA, how much everyone has still been drooling over Terrence Ferguson. Like he is going to be becoming their tight end. He is going to become their guy.
Yeah.
So definitely one to keep an eye on.
One as far as like value late, you want to talk about like end of the draft kind of guys maybe you could get later, like you said, maybe even early waiver wire. Somebody that I would really look out for is Oronde Gadsden. I think that's a player that could break out as well.
We've been giving a lot of love to the Chargers for fantasy football.
Yeah, for real. That's really something.
Yeah.
All right, quarterbacks. Listen, I feel like quarterbacks are it's a tough position. They're kind of like tight ends because I think a lot of the guys that you want are in a fairly condensed group. Same thing, Josh. Who do you like? Who do you not like?
I mean, as far as one, if you don't get, your top quarterbacks, there's something about Trevor Lawrence to me that I feel like he's going to be doing a lot. Also, because his main running back ain't Travis Etienne anymore. It's Patrell Tudin, who is more of a receiving back, which will result in more passing yards for him. And then, if you go super late, I'm on the Tyler Shuck bandwagon. I think the guy's going to start improving more and more and actually, produce well. So, I mean, if you have a backup, you got one of your quarterbacks unfortunately gets hurt, I think he'd be a real good guy to step in there.
So it's gonna sound bad just because I'm a Cowboy guy. I just feel like most years Dak Prescott gets undervalued. I just do. Like
I will say ESPN, and I'm shocked by this. ESPN has him 11th.
Yeah,
he's top 5 fantasy.
I agree. I think Dak Prescott is somebody that, like, regardless of how you feel about him, most of the time his numbers are pretty gaudy. Dak puts up some big numbers pretty consistently. Somebody that I would avoid that's pretty highly ranked, I hate to say it, Josh, but there's two other NFC East quarterbacks that I don't love as far as fantasy output. Jackson Dart being the first one. I think Jackson Dart is a little overvalued. And I think Jalen Hurts is on the decline.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just not sure I'm buying into this Eagles offense as much this year. I don't know that I'd be willing to take Jalen Hurts based on his legs, mobile reputation. Now, again, if they get into a goal line situation, the tush push helps them a bunch, and that gives them, that gives him those rushing touchdowns.
Sure.
Right. But I'm completely a lot of bad with Jalen Hurts too.
I'm in complete agreement with you with Jalen Hurts. I said it last week. One of my biggest bold takes heading into the season. I don't think the Eagles are going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And Jalen Hurts is a big reason. Again, no AJ Brown. Dallas Goedert's a year older. Saquon's a year older. That offensive line is a year older.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely agree that he will be on the decline as well. The last thing I'm going to say, because I know we're going to the break, but I want to make sure I emphasize this. If the Rams defense most people take their defense well after round 10. Like anywhere from round 12 to the last pick is when a lot of people take their defense. This Rams defense needs to be drafted.
Yeah.
Last year, the main in your standard fantasy, the leader, I believe, was Houston's defense, averaging 10.5 fantasy points a game. The Rams are going to average over 13 fantasy points a game. Yeah. The Rams defense is worth an 8th round pick.
Wow.
I am going to do whatever I can to get the Rams.
Go get the Rams defense. Go get Brandon Aubrey. Go get those two guys.
Well, Aubrey's Mr. Automatic for kickers. You absolutely get Brandon Aubrey.
You get Brandon Aubrey. And you get 65 yarders with him.
Right.
All right. Coming up next, will we be able to provide Josh with his first 82-0 team?
You never forget your first.
Is coming up next.
Cowboys Nation, what up? It's your boy EJ Savage over here at Boys in the Zone, where it's everything Cowboys related, from the latest news, off-season talk like training camp and draft analysis, and of course, during season game breakdowns and commentary. Would love to see you in the chat kicking it with myself and other members of Cowboys Nation, whether it be a guest that I myself bring in, or Cowboys fan forum videos where I bring you guys on, or even other chat members. We're always live on Twitter and YouTube talking to boys, so really the only thing left to say is, how about them Cowboys? See you there. Peace.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
You know, like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you not. So Bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Crack 'em if you got 'em. And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
you need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off, throw your score prediction in our live chat, and if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some Can Fan merch. Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Vol View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics. And most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant, and you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez, because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that, because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh, and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports, mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different, enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
Alrighty, we are back exclusively on the Grid Network. It's Mike and Josh. I'm Mike Guido. That's Josh Tariff. Last few minutes of the show tonight, we have 82-0.
Part 2. Can we get to 82-0?
Deal. Can we get to 82-0? Now, Josh, how do we do this? How do we do it? We don't do it classic mode. We do
whatever it's called.
Hoops IQ, baby.
I don't remember what it was called. But
all right,
we don't see the stats.
We're
just going from our superior knowledge and gut.
All right.
And we have to achieve. What was our best one last week? Do you remember?
77-5. Did
we get to 77 together?
I think we got to 77 together.
Okay.
So let's do it. Okay. First spin. The goal is for 82-0. Charlotte in the 2000s.
Not the best start to go 82-0.
No, this is not.
I think we definitely use our team refresh here.
I agree. Refresh the team. We get Memphis, which could be even worse.
All right, so we're not going to get 82-0 on our first try, but that's okay.
So,
Pau was there.
Pau Gasol might not be terrible here.
Pau's going to be our best bet. So put Pau at the 4.
Pau Gasol. All right. We still have our era respin. Golden State in the 80s. This was not a great era for Golden State.
No, I think we use our era and hope we get the 10s. 20. We got the 20s, so we can still use Steph.
We can still use Steph Curry. So let's go get Steph Curry. Stephen Curry.
All right, and now we're stuck with whatever we get.
Charlotte in the 10s.
Jesus.
Oh, God. This is tough.
All right. We're not getting 82-0 on this one.
82-0 this time.
This will be
Al Jefferson might
or
be
Kemba.
Or Kemba Walker.
Oh, was Kemba?
So we can move Steph
to the 2
and put Kemba here. You want to do that?
Kemba was an all-star.
Let's go Kemba Walker. Okay, center and small forward. That's what we have. Boston in the 70s. This is before Bird, so we're probably looking more McHale, Dave Cowens, maybe Tiny Archibald is in here. Tiny Archibald we can't use.
Yeah, we can't use. How was Bob McAdoo in the 70s for Boston?
Oh God, I don't know. We could take him and find out.
Well, we could try. Put him as our center, and now we just need our small forward.
Memphis in the 90s. Jeez Louise.
This is going to be our worst one. This is going to be our worst one.
Are we even going to make the playoffs?
No. We may touch 50 wins.
Ay. This is not good.
Sharif. Abdul-Rahim is
Sharif Abdur-Rahim.
That's our best bet.
56 and 26.
That is more than I thought. Bob McAdoo was good though.
Yeah, McAdoo was still good. All right, let's try again. Here we go.
Now we're doing this for real this time. Doing it for real this time.
Phoenix in the 10s. This is not hopeless.
This is Amari, isn't it?
I think this was later Amari.
Because
Amari go to the Knicks? Didn't Amari go to the Knicks in 2011 or something?
Oh, you might be right. Because obviously ain't Steph at this point, and this would have been beginning of Devin Booker at the end of the 2010s.
Right. So Devin Booker is still probably okay, but I'm trying.
Honestly, it might be Jamal Crawford.
I'm trying to think who else is here.
Phoenix was not great in this decade.
No, they were.
I mean, they're not great in most decades, but
in most decades, Steve Nash. But that
like I said, it's the end. It's the end of Nash.
It's the end of Nash. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of thinking you're right in the sense of,
or do we try to use one of our switches?
Well, it's up to you. We're doing this for you, buddy.
This is for me?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's change the team.
We'll change the team. Charlotte.
What the hell?
Oh, my goodness gracious. Who did we pick for Charlotte last time?
We just start over now.
That we really
we picked Kemba last time.
We picked Kemba last. Do you want to go Kemba again, or do you want to go Al Jefferson?
Let's try it. Let's go different. Let's try Al Jefferson this time.
All right, let's go Al Jefferson.
Sure. We already lost this.
Sacramento in the 80s. Oh my gosh.
What the hell is going on?
Danny Ainge was not bad for Sacramento in the 80s. Let me
He's
see.
clearly an 82-0 type player. Yeah, as you're scrolling through,
man, look at this.
No one. Like, there's no
this
one
is
on
insane.
this.
Otis Birdsong, Otis Thorpe.
Reggie Theus.
Yeah, Reggie
That's
Theus.
your best one.
Yep. Okay, spin again. Clippers in the 2000s. Oh, my God. Baron Davis.
I think this is going to be Baron Davis.
It probably is going to be Baron Davis.
Or Elton Brand.
Brand could be. I mean, you just have nothing. I mean, look at this. This is insane.
This is
insane.
And mind you, we're actually attempting to do well. We're going to have the worst team that we tried to do well with.
Do you know why we're going to do bad? Because we're trying to do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go Baron Davis.
Sure. Let's just hurry up through this one because we know this one's a waste.
Boston in the 70s.
I don't care anymore.
Take Dave Cowens.
Sure. Fine.
And then small forward Cleveland in the 90s. Antonio Lang. Who cares?
Yeah.
50 and 32.
Oh, we still got, with Antonio Lang, we still got 50 wins.
Yep.
All
right.
All right.
Here we go. Come on.
This is the winner.
Brooklyn in the 70s. Jeez. Bernard King. Ralph Sampson was on these teams.
You know what? Yeah, I'm leaning towards Sampson or Simpson.
No, Ralph Simpson. Ralph Simpson. See, now I look stupid because I thought it was Ralph Sampson.
Yeah. Again, it's Bernard King.
It's got to be Bernard King. All right, let's go. Oklahoma City in the
Change the era. Change that era. There we go. There we go. Give us Shea. We got Shea.
Gilgeous-Alexander is the clear choice. Yep. Let's see what we got here. Third spin. Spurs in the 70s. This is not a lost cause. George Gervin was.
Yeah. I was going to say Iceman.
Yeah.
Put him at the 2.
All right. Center, power forward. Golden State in the 70s.
Which one do we have?
Chamberlain still here? No, he was not. He was still in the 60s.
So we can either try to pick someone here or try to change the team for the 70s.
Nate Thurmond is.
He was good.
Nate Thurmond is not bad.
Let's go with Thurmond. Put him at the 4.
Nate Thurmond at the 4. All right. We still have our team spin. Utah in the 90s. So we could take Malone.
Take Malone and move Thurman to the 5.
Move Thurman. Yep. So take Malone. Let's see. 72 and 10. That's pretty good.
All right, we're getting better. We got like 1 or 2 more in here. We got to get that 82, or else we're going to do this bit every damn week until we get it.
Denver in the 70s.
Did they exist in the 70s? Jesus.
Clearly not that much because they've only had so many guys here.
Change the era.
I would change the era. Yeah.
And we're going to get Jokic right now.
10s.
No,
this is early for Jokic.
Yeah, it's too early for Jokic. Carmelo probably.
Melo.
Oh, that's the end of Carmelo.
That's the end of Carmelo. Darrell Arthur. Oh my God.
Beginning of Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. I mean, there's just, unless I'm like missing somebody, there's Jokic, but Jokic, that's really early Jokic.
I know, but it might be.
I just don't think there's much here. I think it's probably Melo.
Yeah.
All right, let's go Carmelo Anthony. Let's see what we got. Come on. Minnesota in the 20s.
Right,
Anthony Edwards.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Chicago in the 60s.
In the 60s.
Yeah, this is like really early Chicago Bulls. There's really not a lot here.
I think, we got to try and hope for a better team in the 60s.
Phoenix.
And we went worse.
We clearly went worse.
Gail Goodrich is probably the best one.
Gail Goodrich is definitely the pick. Chicago in the 90s. This is
all right. Well, we know who to take here.
Yep, this is Jordan.
We're clearly taking John Paxson.
Right. What are you doing? I told you to take John Paxson.
And we got Shaq in the center. Okay.
Center, yep.
So we ended up. This might be our best one.
71 and 11. All right. So this is not bad.
Yeah, but I thought it was going to be better than 72 and 10. Honestly. Look at those numbers.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good team.
That's a very good team.
Really good team.
Huh.
That's a really good team. Okay. All right.
We got one more. Last one of the night.
Last one. This is attempt number 5.
Toronto
in the 90s.
That's when they were formed. So change the team.
Trying to think. There's nobody here.
It
right?
was the best one was Damon Stoudemire. Change
T-Mac?
the team. That was like rookie T-Mac.
Change the team. Lakers 90s.
We're definitely better. That's Shaq. Shaq got there in 96.
Shaq. Yep. This is Shaq. Okay. Spin again.
Next one.
Clippers 90s.
Oh God. Do we use our era?
I mean, this was the end of Danny Manning.
Yeah. And was Wilkins did all right there though, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure Wilkins did do pretty okay here.
Well, actually, you know what? Let's go with Dominique.
I would take Dominique. All right, we take Dominique. OKC in the 90s. So this is Seattle.
Payton. Gary Payton.
Gary Payton. All right. Let's go. We still have our era spin. This is Utah in the 2000s.
I mean, Karolinko was really good, but I don't know if he's good for this game.
Yeah, right. I agree. AK-47, I don't know.
Boozer was good at that point.
Boozer. I think you're still going to get, you're still getting like these late 90s guys. Hornacek, Ostertag.
You do have
here.
And Malone is still here too.
Malone is still here. This is sort of the end of Malone.
But Malone might still be the best one.
Yeah, I would bet that he probably is. I'm triple checking, making sure there's nobody that we're forgetting. I think it's probably Malone.
Yeah, we'll go Malone at the 4, and then we need a lot of help at shooting guard.
Yep, we do. Golden State in the 90s. So
we have that, or we can roll the dice with the era and try to get. Is Steph listed as a shooting guard in this? Or
He's not. He wasn't in the 90s.
Right, but I'm just saying, as far as the era.
No, I think he is a 2. I think he does get listed as a 2.
So let's do the era and hope we can land on Steph. And we certainly don't.
Is Rick Barry listed as a 2?
Let's find out.
He's only a 3. Dominique is only a 3 also. And Wilt Chamberlain, this stinks too because Wilt Chamberlain averaged like 40 points a game in the 60s for the Warriors.
And and we already have Shaq.
So and we can't move Gary Payton, so we are stuck with a 2-guard.
In the 60s.
In the 60s for Golden State.
We started with potential.
I don't even know who to pick.
I don't either. I don't
know any of these guys.
I'm looking at these names with you here. Just click on the guard option, so we're only looking at guards here. Slow down a little bit. I don't know why I feel like I've heard of the name Jim King, but doesn't mean it's going to do well. Yeah, 61. Who's Jim King? 11 points a game.
11 points a game. Yeah.
And Payton was
Dominique
was great.
29 a game for the Clippers in the 90s.
That was the right pick.
Yep. Well, Josh, you can't win them all. I guess we'll be back again next week for
everyone's favorite segment.
Josh to 82-0. Oh, boy. All righty. That does it for us. I'm Mike Guido. That's Josh Tariff. This is Mike and Josh exclusively on the Grid Network. And together we sing.
You are listening to Mike Guido and Josh Tariff. Buckle up!
Why couldn't they list Wilt or Shaq as a power forward, and then we could have just had both of them?
There you go. See, they couldn't have done that.
No, that would have made life so much easier.
No, that's the deal, Josh. They don't make our life easy.
I don't appreciate that.
Make our life easy.
Mike and Josh.
Life's supposed to be easy.
Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern, we will be here. Great to have you.
Let's run it back.
We'll see you next week.